Welcome to the ElkShape podcast. This is a bonus episode 2 this week. This will be a short one, but this is the best place to do this one. So I want to talk about the company Black Ovis a little bit, and it's kind of a sad story. And it's one that kind of, their path crosses ours. So I just kind of wanted to, address it and kind of let people know our side of the story a little bit. It's not really, it's not fun to talk about when somebody you know and you're working with goes bankrupt, but that's kind of what we're talking about. So about a week ago, they filed bankruptcy. I think it's called Chapter 7, and I don't know all the details in that, but I kind of wanted to, it does affect us quite a bit, but also, we'll move on, we'll move forward. So Black Ovis, if you didn't know, is like blackovis.com was a retailer, an online retailer for pretty much hunting and outdoor gear. And they had another branch of their business called Camo Fire, which was a great place to get things like flash sale type liquidation. And I think the model was more like, we'll sell stuff on Black Ovis, and if it doesn't move as fast and we need to lower the price or liquidate, we'll put it on Camo Fire. Or if we come across something that is being liquidated, we can buy it in bulk and sell it really quickly on Camo Fire. They had like daily deals. I worked with Black Ovis since 2019. How that started, super simple. I knew the owner or one of the owners, Kendall Card, and Kendall, I reached out to him and asked for a discount code for our podcast listeners as a give back. And he was like, I'll do you one better. I'll give you 10% commission. I'll give you, for everybody. And anytime someone uses your code, great, whatever. So after about a year, I got a report of how many people had used it, and it was like a significant number of uses. I was like, okay, well, we have some listeners, and they're saving some loot. This is great. And we've taken that relationship further and further down the road to where at one point we had Kendall was always the glue to the relationship, and so they would send us tons of different stuff from their website to try, tinker, test, vet, and educate consumers about on the ElkShape Gear channel. And some of those items I could sell on my website on behalf of Black Ovis. So that was awesome. And it worked out for us because we got the gear that we could test, and we could try several different brands and kind of tell you what we thought about it. And that's kind of how ElkShape Gear, the YouTube channel, was born, was based on just testing, vetting gear and explaining how to use stuff. And then in return, we also would give them like some product images in the field. And obviously if we're talking about their products, and we could sell them on their behalf, or they could go to the Black Ovis, use our discount code and buy them. Great relationship. Honestly, worked out well. Kendall also, not now, but at one point was like an owner or part owner of the Crispy Boots distribution in the US with a partner. And I was wanting to try Crispies for kind of our gear channel, just to test them against Kinetrex, which is what I'd been running for years. And so when I did that, I really fell in love with Crispy Boots, to be honest with you. Like, I genuinely kind of loved them, and ended up kind of getting a partnership with Crispy, and Kendall was again the glue to that relationship as well. To take a step further, at one point, Black Ovis this is how like our relationship worked, is like they would buy stuff for me and then warehouse it, ship it, and do customer service like a third party for all my ElkShape branded stuff, even like hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, side plates, pocket quivers, release aids, rests, anything ElkShape branded. And they were fronting the loot. Like, they would buy it, they would put it on their shelves, and their team would ship it out. And that's how it's been ever since. So like we're pretty much tight-knit partners. And I'm still like selling their stuff, some of their stuff, from their warehouse on my website as well. And things were going good. At one point, I stopped being partnered with Crispy Boots. I was still wearing Crispy Boots, but we weren't partnered anymore officially, which wasn't a big deal. We're still selling Crispies on the website, their website, my website. I'm wearing Crispies, but I wasn't partnered with Crispy officially. And that was kind of by design. That's something that I kind of wanted to do, is just, and so in 2025, Crispy Black Ovis was like, hey, we want to sponsor you for footwear. You'll be an ambassador for our footwear, and you don't have to just wear Crispies. Like, we sell Salewas, Solomon's, a whole bunch of, like, you'll be able to try all these different brands, and you just kind of tell people what you think and what you like and why. That's a no-brainer. So we kind of started that partnership. That was in 2025 this year. So we've been working closely for the last 6 years, man. And I really got to know the team at Black Ovis. And I'll even say their names because these were dudes that I worked with a lot, communicated with a lot, shot bows with, went to the warehouse and did content with, like multiple times over like 6 years. So like dudes like Adam Buchanan, Craig Key, Jace, Mark Springer, and Kendall Carp. Like people I probably consider friends outside of business, just good relationships with. And so I was devastated to hear last week that they were done. And how I heard about it wasn't through Black Ovis. It was like a friend texting me, asking me if Black Ovis is indeed closed for business. And this was on the Monday that they did that. And I was like, I don't think so. And he's like, well, check their website. I think it's down. It's down. Yeah, the website's turned off. Weird. And then my friend called me and said, hey, I just got word from one of the employees, like, it's officially closed. And so I finally, I was like, all right, I'm sure somebody will call me. And sure enough, Springer called me that night and kind of gave me the details. I also talked to Craig Key. I ended up talking to Adam, and then ended up talking to Kendall. Not all on the same day, kind of over the course of a week. That's a bummer for me because, like, first, all my friends are out of jobs, and these dudes are all like dudes I would consider like probably top tier, top shelf dudes in the business. Like, they know what they're doing and they're awesome. And inside scoop is that the meeting that the company was hosting on Monday, my buddy believed it was a meeting of attaboys and congratulations because the team had hit their numbers for Q3. And they had started the year off very rocky. In fact, they were in a pretty big hole, and they really busted their asses, and they hit their Q3 numbers, which was great. And Q3, Q4 can be really good for Black Ovis because it's hunting season, but they didn't get to continue on. It was like everybody in the same room finding out the same information that, hey, we're closing Black Ovis and Camel Fire as of today. You all have severance pay coming to your bank account, and this is your last day. Like, in fact, we're done. You can leave. Really brief meeting, lots of tears. In fact, a couple of those guys I talked on the phone were tearing up while talking to me. Like, it just made me sad. So my initial was like, I wasn't bummed out for me. I was bummed out for the team and all these guys who are really talented that don't have jobs now. And then there's a whole warehouse full of people that don't have jobs. And I'm pretty sure like Kendall Card is getting a lot of the blame from what I've seen on socials and forums and stuff like that. And maybe people don't know the full details, and maybe I don't even know the full details, probably not. But from my understanding, it wasn't that long ago where Kendall left Crispy. I don't know, on good terms, bad terms, but he's no longer a part owner. And that's kind of why I followed Kendall over to Black Ovis for the footwear deals, because one, I like being able to try all the different boots, and, I didn't want to I just kind of picked Black Ovis over Crispy, even though I wear Crispy boots. I like selling Crispy boots, and I answer DMs every day about Crispy boots and tell people what I think, what they should use for what, when, where, and why. I like Crispy boots, man. I think they're the best. So, as far as I know for Kendall, when he did that change, he was also stepped down, no longer CEO of Black Ovis. And an investment group came in. And as you can imagine, when an investment group comes in, they're going to trim the fat. They're going to dial or polish the systems and move things around. And I believe Kendall stepped down and went back to what he was good at, which was just on the sidelines helping the team of buyers and marketing. I don't know his title or role or whatever. It's hard for me to believe that Kendall would jeopardize his baby that he started with a partner many, many years ago. And I think he's probably been unfairly fingers pointing at him, but I don't know the full story. Obviously, I'm going to give Kendall the benefit of the doubt because he's a friend of mine, and I've trusted him for years, and he's always done right by me. So, how that affected us is like, obviously we lost our partnership, so we don't have sponsorship dollars coming in. Obviously, I have a lot of my stuff, quote unquote, that's ElkShape branded, sitting in the warehouse that I probably not going to get. I have a couple months of back pay, probably not going to see. And it's, for me, like, there's a list of many, many companies. I'm on this list, on this report. You probably could find it, of all the companies that they owe money to. And there's some significant sums in there. And we're just one of them. Some lawyer got a hold of this list and sent all of us the same email saying, hire us. This is what we do. We'll work hard to get you as much of your money back to you. And my initial reaction was like, I don't like lawyers. That's a time suck. You might get pennies on the dollar. And it's just I'm just going to take it as an L, and I'm going to just move on. Like, that's part of running your own business, being self-employed, and making decisions. The decision for me was, I'm not fighting this. We're going to just pivot. Bummer. Again, I'm more disappointed for my friends who had awesome jobs and were really good at what they did, and I enjoyed working with them for the last 6 years. I feel bad for Kendall because that was his baby, and I think he's probably getting blamed a lot, but he wasn't the CEO. He wasn't on the board. I don't think he made votes. I don't think he had a vote. So they all unanimously decided to foreclose, or Chapter 7, which is where the government will come in and liquidate the stuff they do have in this warehouse. That warehouse is huge, chocked full of stuff that apparently hasn't been paid for. So I wanted to kind of finish this little update with, I have no hard feelings. We were affected. We will pivot. We are not going to fight it or get a lawyer or any of that kind of stuff. We are looking for a third party to warehouse and ship from our website pretty much my apparel and branded stuff. I could sell other stuff too as a sales channel, but it's got to be stuff that I know and have vetted and believe in. And you got to do a good job. Like, no mistakes. Don't put the wrong things in the wrong boxes. And if we do make a mistake, that we do right by the customer. Customers expect fast shipping, affordable shipping within reason. Customers expect communication if there's a delay. They expect the tracking number within 24 hours. I'm a customer. I understand what we all expect. And there's good competitors out there that will probably do good jobs, and they should. They need to earn all of our business. I was a customer of Black Ovis. Like, I literally would buy all my freeze-dried meals for a month of hunting. I would just use my discount code, and I would get, like, I was a customer. I would buy stuff. I used their game bags this year for all my elk, all my bears. So Black Ovis always made options for people on a budget, and they made some pretty good, even like, I work with Born Primitive Outdoor, but they still made some really good Black Ovis branded clothing, and they were getting better at it. And I know people will vouch for me, like, and agree with me on that, because like, there's guys I've talked to who've had like their thermals and base layers for 4 or 5 years, and they've worked great. So it's a bad deal for the hunting space. I don't know why the company went downhill so fast. If I had to guess, this is just a guess, I would think that the tariff stuff in the beginning of the year probably played a factor. They might end up having to pay some tariffs that they're not used to paying. They might have been buying more than they were selling, so the warehouse is getting fuller and fuller, and they're still making purchase orders. And maybe those purchase orders are on terms, is what they will say in the industry. We're like, we promise to pay you over the 90 days or 180 days or 30 days. And because they've been in business for a while and they're, reliable, and that people probably agreed to those terms. But at some point they had too much inventory and not enough sales, and were bleeding, and the investment group was like, enough's enough, or the bank was like, enough's enough, and shut them down. So it's a bad deal. What can you and I learn from this? Well, let's talk about it. I learned that you got to be able to pivot in business, which is what I'm going to try to do right now. Is I'm going to pivot, because I still, I believe like the people that buy stuff from ElkShape.com a lot of them do it in a way to like support us for making content. And I'm forever grateful. And if anyone buys anything merch, they're repping the brand, they believe in what we're selling, hard work. Like, I appreciate that. I want to be able to continue to do that, and I'll figure out a way. I'll figure it out. It's going to take me a little bit, but I'll figure it out. We'll pivot. All the stuff that is in that warehouse, we got to move on, start over a little bit there. That's fine. So agency, being able to pivot in business, that's important. From a financial standpoint, we can learn from maybe their mistakes. Like, this is all the more reason to not live beyond your means, to not spend money you don't have. And somebody should have come in and been like, we're not buying anything else right now. We have a warehouse full of stuff that we need to sell. How are we going to sell it? We need to let the people know we have it. We need to let the people know why they could use it, how to use it, like educate the consumer, get some marketing, get some content that's more of give back, educational, that kind of thing. Let people know, and they'll gladly support you. So we can learn that, debt is not, there's healthy debt, I guess, but I hate debt. And I'm currently in debt, not a lot, but enough to where I don't like where we're at. So a couple of years ago, my goal was by the age of 40 to have no debt, including mortgages. And we did it. And we did it slow. We did it over like 15 years, Dave Ramsey style. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of discipline. It was great. You got to have a great partner on the same page. And that was my wife. And we did it. But then we bought ElkShape HQ to basically build me a place to have a studio and to do what I do and away from the home. And so we had to borrow for that. And my theory was always like, not a theory, it's just how I look at things. I look at, okay, ElkShape HQ, we don't own it. The bank does. We need to own it. And we're going to work hard to own it. And then we decided to build on it. But we're living in Idaho, so there's more debt. So we're going to need to sell that house in Idaho eventually and buckle down and get all this paid off, and we will. I know we will, Lord willing, because my wife's an awesome teammate and we have the same goals and we've done it before and we'll do it again. And that's the way to do it, is like to eliminate debt, live within your means, know what you need versus what you want, live simply. I just want to get on here to tell all my friends at Black Ovis, I got nothing but love for you. Zero hard feelings. I wish you all well. You'll bounce back. If the brand ever comes back, I would love that. You helped a lot of people get some really good gear at a good price. You had great customer service and fast shipping. And it's a bummer, but it is what it is. So God bless you all there. And then as far as we'll pivot, I got some stuff to figure out, but for the online stuff, but we're already doing it right now. But I wanted to get on here. I gave it about a week since the news, and I know maybe it's old news, maybe it's still hot news. It's just a quick take on, like, I always value relationships over money. And I feel like all those people that I mentioned in this pod are still my friends. I wish them well. I know they'll do well wherever they do. And I know there's a lot of speculation and probably just unfactual things going around the internet, but this was my take. And I'm one of those people who is on the list of creditors, and we'll take it as an L and we'll move forward. Straightforward. Like, I'm going to spend zero energy on thinking about the past and just moving forward. But this is the ElkShape pod, where we keep it really real and we try to learn from our mistakes, and we try to share what our journey is. That's what we're documenting, our journey. So we have another podcast coming out tomorrow, which will be, I don't remember who's on, but it's going to be a great one. And you can check it out here on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you download your podcasts. We're selling hard work, separations in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.